Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here today. I'm doing my new project. Sorry, the movie reviews going the way, and I had to do those first because that's what my channel is based on. But now that I have time, I thought I might as well talk about. I thought I'd talk about what this special project is about. So, I've watched a lot of TV shows, like a lot, and these were mostly as a kid. So obviously, there were a lot of animated shows I watched as a kid. But obviously, as I grew up, I began to watch live action shows as well. So I thought, hey, instead of reviewing just movies, why don't I review TV shows? Give it a mix of both, right? Give you guys TV shows you want. I talk about movies I've recently seen. And I thought for the TV shows, instead of them just being my picks, they can also be your picks. Whatever TV shows you watched as a kid, I could review them for you. There's a possibility I've already watched it. And so, again, yes, I did watch a lot of TV shows when I was a kid, and I thought, might as well review them, give myself some nostalgia and see what I really loved about these shows as a kid. And which better show to start off than Avatar The Last Airbender? Now, if you haven't heard of this show, first of all, go die. You don't deserve to live. Second of all, for those who haven't heard of this show and maybe are interested in watching it, it's about it's about this human spirit being. It's kind of weird, but like basically long and short answer is there's this world full of people who can control the elements fire, water, earth, air, right? And so one of these people has this all the elements. They have the ability to control all the four elements and even going to this state called the avatar state. So the avatar is the protector of this world and must ensure that the balance of spirits and humans and all elements are kept in order, and that's their job. So, as every avatar dies, a new one is born with a different element. For example, if you're a water avatar and you die, the next one will be an earth avatar. Then, when you die, it will be fire. When they die, it will be air, so on and so forth. Now, a lot of people claim that this is their favorite animated show of all time, hands down, best thing ever. Do I agree with them? Hell yeah, I agree with them. Ah, boy, I've already started this review saying what I needed to say. Yep, so Avatar The Last Airbender is by far my favorite animated show ever. It's probably the best ever animated show. And this show probably inspired every other animated show that came after it. It's kind of hard to explain, that's why I'm making this review. But yes, I may sound a bit biased, but I'm not lying. The Avatar The Last Airbender is by far the best animated show and basically the only animated show you ever need to watch. It is that perfect. Everything about it is just good. It's hard to explain, but like obviously I'll do it later on, but it really is that good. It masters storytelling and character development all within 3 seasons of 20 episodes within each other. There have been shows with more episodes and more seasons that haven't even been able to accomplish the same thing. And that's what this review is gonna do. It's not gonna be an extra long one because I am playing another show, so I'll just cut to the basics. Let's start with the animation. It is gorgeous. I just love the fight. I just love the fight choreography. It looks really good, especially in seasons such as 2 and 3. One, it was a bit scratchy because they were just starting off, but in 2 and 3, they do get on their feet and they have an idea of what they're doing. I again, it looks really good. I like how it's also kind of like anime inspired. That was really awesome. I loved it. I mean, I don't watch anime, so but like I do like their over exaggerated expressions. That's like the only thing about anime I like. You're gonna die now. Um, and then the character development. Wait, no, no, no. Save that for last. Save that for last. Save that for last. Let's start with the storytelling. This show has some of the best storytelling I have ever seen, in all honesty. It really, like, how should I say, it knows how to tell its stories. It has a continuous flow. From the beginning of season 1, they already planned out how the show will end. So until season 3, everything that is going on has already been planned out. Disney, Star Wars. And so they work towards that ending, and by working towards that ending you feel the build up, but it isn't the ending you're only looking forward to. What we do along the ending is also big. There are also big events that happen during that time. It feels so, every episode even feels bigger than the last. It feels so grandiose, so epic with every episode that goes towards the ending. Therefore by the time you reach the ending, maybe the ending isn't even your favorite part. Episodes before were your favorite part, and it really just sparked creativity from this. Then we have the character development. Let me just say, there has been no other show I have watched that has had character development as good as this. It's as if they actually took characters from real life, put them through some trauma, and then have them work out to be a family in the end. They work towards being that family in the end. And I have to say, it is beautiful how this show works with its family dynamic and its character development, and each guy is bouncing off each other in such a natural way. I don't know how to explain it, but Avatar just does it so well and so naturally. And that leads us into the future. What has Avatar done? Because this show is one of the first few shows I've seen with a story with a continuous storyline, not consistency, continuity, with a continuity in it from beginning to end, and the ending has been planned out. Every show that's come after this has been trying to do the same thing. Avatar came out in like 2005 to 8, I think, and every other show I've seen has been trying to do this. They keep doing these continuous stories. They have continuity, they have consistency, and they always try to build up to some ending. And you can obviously tell that they were inspired by Avatar because it was one of the first shows to do this. And I'm glad that it did leave a legacy behind. If it wasn't for some shows also trying to rip it off, But at the same time, I honestly really can't get mad at it. I really like how it's done, and it changed the generation. This was the Spider Verse of its time. This is the Spider Verse of animated TV shows, where animated TV shows began to take itself more seriously, where people don't just say animation is just for kids, and where you can achieve such great storytelling with animation alone. Tell me you can do this in live action. Just come and tell me you can do it. I will fight you. So yeah, in all honesty, I really do think that um that Avatar is an animated show that can be taken seriously. There's not a show for kids or a show just for kids or anything dumb that some people have to say because people say animation is just for kids. Yeah, they don't have a life, nor do they have a soul. And so it really makes sense, in all honesty, why they would keep it animated. And it's so good as to why it's animated. I really wish a lot of people, sorry, I have a bit of a sinus thing right now. I really wish a lot of people watch this show, and actually they have. I don't know if you're not somebody who's watched this show, you have issues, and you need to go get some help. Anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on Avatar. I know it's a really quick review, but I'm trying to also keep it quick. Regardless to say, it's a perfect show. Everything about this show is perfect. It's awesome. It's amazing, and it is by far the best animated show I've ever seen. Easily 10 out of 10. If you're gonna ask me for any bad episodes I've seen, I would say maybe there were like two out of 61 episodes. Yeah, that's right. Come and tell me it's a bad show again. Avatar: The Last Airbender has built up a legacy. It's a Spider Verse of TV shows. It shows that animation isn't just for kids, or shouldn't even be for kids sometimes, and even to an extent, it really put animation on a higher playing field so it can actually be taken seriously. And honestly, this show has all my respects and more. It is my number one favorite show of all time. Alright, now we move on into disappointing waters. Viacom, do not copyright me. First of all, before I even continue this, let me just say Viacom, they're kind of douches sometimes. Even when I do a trailer of one of their shows, they copyright me. DreamWorks and Viacom are just, they're so touchy, they're so sensitive. Why are you being stingy? Let me review one of your stuffs. God dang it. Alright, so Avatar, The Legend of Korra. This is not a great follow up to what we had. This is not a great follow up to what we had with The Last Airbender. Where do I even begin? Okay. Um Now, as a follow up as a concept to the follow up of our favorite show, I was fully behind this. I was like, oh my goodness, we're getting a sequel to Avatar, a sequel series. Yes, count me in. I want this. Turns out I really don't want it. Let me give you my experiences for watching it the first time. After I saw the first season, I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. I liked it. Good storytelling. And it leaves the door very open for season two. The ending was a bit cheap though, but I liked it. And I was, mind you, I was a bit of a kid at this time, so like I really didn't care. Season two came out and I was blown off my feet. I thought it was the best thing I've ever seen. Then, funny thing, I saw season four before three. I don't know how that happened. Please don't at me. But I saw four first, And if you ask me, this is not the order to watch it. Watch it three, then four. Because if you watch four, you will be so confused. Regardless, I still watched four before three, and it the ending was like very weird to me. Like honestly, it was very weirded out by four. I had no idea what I was watching. Then I watched three, and all I could say after watching three was, this is the closest we could get to actual Avatar as we've been for before. Like this is the closest we've gotten to like last Airbender levels than we have ever have before. So I was really blown away by three. Three was by far the best of Legend of Korra. Why do I say it this way? Well, let's start off with the concepts because this is a very weird show. The concepts for this show are interesting. The concepts for this show are interesting. Each season has a different concept about finding your inner peace, gaining with your spiritual side, yada yada yada. They are somewhat more deeper and I guess you could say mature than the last Airbender. They have a deeper, more psychological look into yourself. The concepts of this show have that. So obviously, so like right off the bat, you have a better message than what the first show was trying to tell. However, delivering that message, oh boy, that was a big flop, let me not lie. Season 1 was cheap. It just felt cheap. Everything was a cop out. Everything was just immediately drawn back. Every time they took a risk, they immediately safeguarded it by like saying, "Oh, JK, no, we're not doing that." Season 2 was bad. It was just insane. What the hell happened there? 3 was the only good season. To me, 3 felt like actual Last Airbender. I don't know, go watch 3. But to me, season 3 actually felt like we had hit Avatar Last Airbender levels of fun. Then 4 came. The first half wasn't bad. I really liked the first half of 4. But then that takes me into the second half where I'm like, what the fudge am I watching? And the ending was just, what the hell was that ending? Good lord. And so yeah, I only liked 1.5 seasons from this show over out of all the four. This show kind of it kind of took the concept of deconstructing and then reconstructing a beloved masterpiece. Heck, that's what Lego Batman did. It deconstructed a beloved character and then reconstructed him in a fun way. This show does do that. It deconstructs what made Avatar The Last Airbender so good, but it forgot to reconstruct it. For example, they I mean, I'm not even gonna like say for example, they just ruined everything. I'm not even gonna say for example, because I honestly want no, nah, I don't want you to feel it for yourself, that's just bad. For example, in season two, they kill off all the avatar spirits, meaning that when Korra dies, she will be the only one there. Lucky next avatar, am I right? And so they take away everything that made the first Avatar so good. Or at least they take away some things we loved from the first Avatar. Not like entirely everything because they still need to keep the show running. But they took away most of the things we loved from the first Avatar. They took away like a lot of things that we had grown to care and appreciate and even love for. And then it just doesn't put it back, or at least it doesn't spit it back in our faces, or it doesn't do anything to replace it. As said, they kill off all the former Avatar spirits and they do nothing with it. They just have Korra on her own. What the fudge? Season 1, there were literally no consequences. Every time something bad happened, something good came back to replace it almost immediately. But in season 2, they kill off all the other two spirits and they're like, we did something risky. That means we're automatically good. They took away some of the elements or some of the good things that we love from the first Avatar, or some of the things that made the first Avatar unique, took them away and never replaced them with anything. They did not try to make this show unique in any way, shape, or form. It just became a dark show. Yay, we did something that broke the character. Look at us, we're so smart. Look at us, we're such a good show. No, you're not. You only did half your homework. Go to hell, okay? Go to hell, Avatar. Last Airbender, Legend of Korra, Last Airbender, you stay. Um, it also leaves into now the storytelling. The storytelling, again, it's muddled. It has a cohesive flow where every choice the characters make or everything the characters do leads into the next season. As you guys know, I love that, especially from Ninjago. I love those kinds of stories where each choice you make a consequence, and where every consequence, and for every choice you make, And for every choice you make, it leads into a consequence, whether for the better or the worse, which leads into a struggle you have to face the next season. It's why I love Ninjago so much, and why I'm not such a big fan of anything post season 10, because from season 11 and 12, the stories sort of end with a very happy ending. There's no lead off into the next season, there's no choice that the characters made that thus affected their world, and therefore they have to live with the consequences of those choices, and thus the consequences of those choices lead into the next season, and then we get to see the consequences of those choices which lead into the next season, thus creating a new villain. Again, not super in love with seasons 11 and 12 because they end on such a happy note, because the characters barely made any choices or didn't make any heavy choices that led on into the next season, whereas the first at least 5 seasons always had choices that led into the next one. For Legend of Korra, on the other hand, it kind of works well where every choice they make leads to the next season. The first season, she now gains her spiritual side. Boom, season 2, she has no choice but to face spirits basically on her own for a bit, because everyone she turns to always turns their back on her, or she turns their back on them. Then at the end of 2, she kind of leaves the portals open, which leads to 3 having airbenders. Then because she almost gives her life to save the airbenders, it leads into 4, where now she has to rise back up and gain her inner strength. So I really like that. I really like how every choice Korra and her friends make always leads into something else, and it does lead into some good character drama. I like the character drama, not the actual characters. Korra is a total B. Let me just say, she is one of the most annoying things about this show. And if your main character is annoying, we have problems. In 3 and 4, she's more caring, more kind, more relatable. But for the first two, how did I even survive with her? That leads into her friends, Marco and Bolin, who are like, alright, Marco is the caring older brother, Bolin is the young jokester. They're alright, but then we get character drama in seasons 2, 3, and 4 from them, and they're broken. What we loved about them in 1 is essentially gone in 2, 3, and 4, and I'm like, great. Asami is just there for the ride most of the time. You know, she's there for female representation. She's there to be that chick who kicks butt and doesn't listen to no man and doesn't take no for an answer. She really is just there to be for the SJWs, and I feel like this show kind of had a hand in forming the SJWs. I'm like, guys, we do not need women with weapons kicking butt. We can just have quiet women who are bad at what they do. We don't need to see them with a sword. That's how you do proper female representation, you dummies! The animation is great. It's better than the original Avatar show, but that's to be expected since technology is growing. And overall, I can't say anything much about this show. Overall, Avatar, Legend of Korra, isn't the best show out there. There are obviously better shows, e.g., the original one. If anything, just go watch the original one. It kind of ends perfectly, leaving only one question unanswered. Oh, and spoilers, this show doesn't even answer that question. They hint at it and then never come back to it again. So screw you. Go read the comics. At the very least, you get more entertainment value out of that. Hence, Avatar: The Legend of Korra broke a legacy. It was supposed to follow what The Last Airbender did in continuing something great, something beautiful, creating a whole new legacy. Turns out it didn't. And whereas even the Avatar that came before it, The Last Airbender, even that had choices and consequences. For every choice and consequence they made at the end of each season led into something. Aang choosing to go into the Avatar state at the end of the first season led into him being forced into it in the second one. Then because he got deaded in the second one, it led to him on the run in the third one, and that's why the third is my favorite, because the heroes always start out from the bottom and work up to the top. I don't think I've ever told you guys this before, but I love the type of storytelling where our main characters, the heroes, are at their lowest point, like they've reached their wits' end. They have been chased away, like maybe into exile, and they have to work their way back up to get where they once were, or they have to get their way back up to face that final challenge. I love stories like that. That's why I love Avatar Season 3, Ninjago Season 9, or heck, even The Lion King. I love those kinds of stories where you have to work your way from the bottom and go on this soul searching journey all the way back to where you came from. And this show does do that for a bit, but come on, the original does it better. There's honestly no reason to watch this show. The character drama is, for one, better than the original. I will give it that. But and the animation is better also. But that's the only thing I'll give it. The Storytelling is weird. The concepts are deep, but they do nothing with them. And the characters themselves are annoying. The only thing this show does have over the original is character drama and animation, but that's to be expected because passing time and growing technology. The SJW, the SJW stuff with this is really annoying. We really didn't need it, and if you did, you could have made it better. I don't know. Come on, like Katara barely does anything in this, yet she's a lovable character. You guys, you had all the pieces. They were half your homework was done for you. You just needed to do the other half. You had all the pieces to make a great show, but you just didn't. And thus, we ended up with a mixed bag where only like 1.5 seasons of the show, and that's barely passable to say the least. The show did end somewhat kind of maturely, and it did end okay, satisfyingly enough for this show. But as an end to the one that came before it, I'd like to think these two are in a separate universe because this one kind of destroyed a legacy. It destroyed the legacy the last Airbender left behind, and I do not like that. It's as if the creators of this show went out of their way to destroy anything that made the last show memorable, to destroy anything that gave the last show purpose and made it good. They went out of their way to get rid of that one and say, no, this is your new avatar. This is gonna be the new show you watch whether you like it or not. In all honesty, I'm not a big fan of that. So all in all, Legend of Korra again, not the best show. That it is watchable to say the least. You can watch it if you really want to, or if you're a big fan of Avatar. But I advise against it. Go watch the original show. It's more worth your time and effort. This one is just there to be okay. But if you're really dying to watch it, just watch season 3 and the first half of 4. It's really all you're gonna get. Overall, again, it is watchable, so like whatever. The first Avatar, The Last Airbender show gets a 10 out of 10 from me. It's perfect. Korra, on the other hand, gets more of like a 6 at best, maybe 4 at worst. 6 on a good day, 4 on a bad day, 5 on an average day. Anyways, guys, I've been Captain Phoenix. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Tell me what shows you want me to review as well. Avatar was my favorite, and that's why I started with it. Now we'll be moving into more and maybe unrecognizable shows or underrated shows I feel you should check out. Anyway, guys, I've been Captain Phoenix. So thank you very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. And with that, I will see you in another universe.